Not again.
No, 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 no!
Yes! 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 Yes!
Yep, they're back.
They're back.
We are back. And now it's time for another edition of the 12th Man Fan Jam. With your hosts, the Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Magic Boys. This is the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity, and welcome one and all to episode 307, the Training Camp 2015 edition of the 12th Man Fan Jam Show. A show made up of Seahawk fans from around the world just like you, talking about your Seattle Seahawks. For the next few moments we share together, we hope you are entertained and enlightened as we discuss your NFC champion Seattle Seahawks. So sit back, relax, grab a desired beverage or center your choice, and remember, if you go out in the woods camping, take a lot of bug spray. As is the usual with every show, we are not alone. No, as usual, I'm joined like I am every episode by the 12th Man Fan Jam Posse, a ragtag group of diehard Seahawk fans from around the world. First, my partner in crime, he's the yin to my yang. He's always campy in his own right. From merry old England, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Oh, Matt, I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I bring good news and bad.
You're kidding. What's the good news, Matt?
The good news is that the NFL have rewritten the whole catch rule thing, the Des Bryant rule.
Thank God for the Cowboy fans.
You no longer have to do a football move.
That's great. What's the bad news?
You have to do a synchronized swimming move afterwards. So this is all going to get much more confusing.
And judged by a company of your peers.
By me, absolutely.
Right. Oh, hey, do it. Also, judging this evening from the state of Washington, our very own newshound. His 12th Man editorials can be found on SeahawkSal.com website. He's always a happy camper. You know him as Shadowhawk. We know him as Will. Hi, Will.
Well, Moses, not a happy camper tonight, I gotta say.
Oh, what's wrong?
Well, I was in the woods and I couldn't find any leaves to use, so I had to use a pine cone instead.
Oh.
Still pine fresh.
Woo! But
yeah, a little painful, but I'm a trooper, so I'll keep plodding on.
But wiping jokes, and we haven't even gone through the intros. Also, here from the state of California, just up the road from the 49er headquarters, our own man behind enemy lines where he camps out to make fun of Niner fans. You know him as Orange76. We know him as Statsman Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy that my favorite webcam model reminded me that I had a show to do. So, I'm glad I made it.
Which one was it this time?
Boy, I lose track. Vanessa? No, I don't know. Bambi.
I thought you said it was Trixie this week.
I think she was a Mouseketeer, and then things went really south.
So. Oh, ouch. Oh, my God. Speaking of Mouseketeers, we are missing one of our posse members, and that is Dustin. Dustin can't be with us tonight. He took a roll in the woods and has poison ivy all over in places we'd rather not talk about. But we will hear from him occasionally throughout the show. And interests have been made, so let's get to this show. For those who listened before and are still listening, thank you for joining us again. For those who are listening for the first time, don't worry, no more butt jokes. We promise we'll be gentle. But be careful, you may catch some poison ivy. Here's how the show's run. It's run just like a real NFL football game. We have 4 quarters and even a halftime. Quarter 1, Shadowhawk will tell us all about the news, NFL news. In Quarter 2, we'll talk about some Seahawk news and some topics. And at the end of Quarter 2, we will have a special edition of Caption That Picture. We have a picture that we will give captions to right before halftime. At halftime is another rousing rendition of the 12th Man Fan Jam Halftime Trivia Show, the Seahawk-based trivia game that you, the listener and viewer, can play along with as well. And we want to know if Matt can defend his title from the last show. Matt, you feel up for that?
No, I'm not up for it at all. I think Mark's got this one in the bag.
Oh, well, he's already given it up. He's doing a little rope-a-dope, I think. He's saying, I can't, and he'll probably win. Between second and third quarter, we'll have a brief appearance by Jim Gaffigan. Yes, that's right, a brief appearance about Jim Gaffigan talking about camping. Then Quarter 3, we'll talk about our campers. The Seahawks are about to go to training camp. and right about a week from where we're broadcasting right now. Training camp expectations, we'll talk about that. Who we think needs to show up at camp, or maybe might be going home early. Maybe a make or break camp for some players, and what surprises we're looking forward to. Some things that may surprise us at camp this year, at training camp, and see it for the Seahawks. And quarter 4, we're doing something a little different. We are going to take a drafted rookie and an undrafted rookie, and the Posse and I are going to adopt them. And what that means is we're going to kind of take them and give them a home and feed them and nurture them and talk about them. And we're going to take these guys under our wing and kind of promote them during the season, especially if they make the team, if they make a great play or whatever. And you can follow us with these guys as we adopt them and as we talk about them on our Facebook page. And I'd like to remind you, we'd like you to like, share, and subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Contact us on this thread or in the comments section of the video for feedback, or email us, 12thmanfangym@gmail.com. Tell us what you think. We're also on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity, and join our Facebook group, the 12th Man Fan Jam Show. We got a lot of goodies on there. We're going to put our adopt a rookie Seahawk on there for lots of discussion and lots of pictures. We try to put some fun on there. All of our shows are on there as well, some outtakes. Let us know what you think of the show. We'd love to hear from you. That's enough of that. Let's get right to the first quarter and news. Yes, news from around the NFL where you were out singing campfire songs. Here is our very own 12-man Fan Jam news hound, Shadowhawk Will, with the news. Will, what you got for us this evening?
Well, Moses, if you're a Redskins fan, there's plenty of fan sites out there for you to see, but I would skip thewashingtonredskins.com.
You would? Why?
That domain was registered by a man named Todd Remmel, 40-year-old web consultant who buys and sells domain names, makes a profit on the side. Little catch is Mr. Remmel is a Giants fan. About a year ago, he heard the news that the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office had canceled the Redskins' federal trademark registrations and thought, this could be my opportunity. So while Redskins.com and WashingtonRedskins.com were taken, the domain TheWashingtonRedskins.com was available. He bought it for $11 a year and set it up so it would redirect to Giants.com. And not wanting to leave it at that, he posted the link on his Facebook page and tagged several of his Redskins-loving friends with the message, "Hey, have you seen? The Redskins are moving to New York."
Oh, wow!
Oh,
Hey,
So-
you know, the kids dig that, I think. The kids, you dig that? That's pretty funny. Yeah.
So Troll of the Week award goes to Mr. Remmel. Well done, sir.
I thought you were going to say it was going to some, like, porn site or something. That would be even funnier.
Well, it's the Redskins. You don't expect to click on a link about the Redskins and see anybody scoring.
Oh!
Boom.
Yes.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, the news hound.
Shoots and scores.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, Mark, would you like to get, if you took the domain of the Niners forum, what would you do with that?
Oh boy. Well, there's a lot of possibilities there. Well, you stumped me though. I don't know.
No,
Actually,
no, I do.
Wow.
I'd sell it to the fans. The fans would destroy it in a matter of minutes at the moment. They're turning themselves inside out.
No, sell it to Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, dear.
Jim Harbaugh, the new moderator of the 49er forum. That would be great. Oh my God, that is pretty awesome, man. And so every time they go to the WashingtonRedskins.com, it goes to the Giants fans.
Yep, pretty much.
Very, very cool. What else you got for us?
Well, this one may cut a little close to home as it involves former Seahawk and now former Patriot Brandon Browner. As you all know, the Patriots won last year's Super Bowl, which meant Browner gets a ring. But unlike when Seattle won the Super Bowl, Browner didn't attend the ring ceremony, possibly because he's now a New Orleans Saint. But apparently he was missed by a certain member of the Patriots organization. Robert Kraft, when sending out Browner's ring in the mail, added a personal note that said, quote, "I'm truly sorry you left us. You were one of my favorites in the locker room."
Aww.
Which is kind of a curious sentiment given that the team declined to pick up Browner's $2 million roster bonus in March and made him a free agent. So if he really wanted Browner to stick around, he could have just tossed him a little bit more money.
Well, I don't want to read too much into it, but when someone says you're one of my favorites in the locker room, I'm just saying.
Oh dear.
I'm just putting it. I'm just putting it out there. I'm sure that's what she said.
Not the best choice of words there.
Yeah, that's probably not the best words, but if you say your favorites in the locker room, I don't know, guys.
Yeah, and Browner's gonna miss Kraft's deflated balls too. So.
Oh my goodness!
So
many
do
good
you
jokes.
do you think he was just needling Browner a little bit?
Oh my goodness gracious!
Wow!
Yeah, I know that one fell a little flat. What can I say?
Brandon, you were always one of my favorites when it came to the locker room. Oh yeah, that's right, Brandon. When you were in the locker room, buddy, you were my favorite. Can't you hear? Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
How do you always have like the music of some sort of 1970s porn on
I
demand?
keep the porn music handy.
It's not just the music, Matt.
Oh dear.
I think one of Kraft's favorite shows is Shaft, right?
God.
Oh wow!
Oh dear.
They say that Kraft's a bad mother.
Shut your mouth. Talking about Kraft.
But I'm talking about Kraft.
I can dig it. All right. I'm sorry. Did we jump all over your story there?
No, that's quite all right.
Okay. Well, and I know Brandon had said something about wanting to come to Seattle. Did you get anything on that?
Yeah, I think he's homesick for the Emerald City. I don't know. I don't know if we would ever bring him back, but kind of wishing he wasn't in New England last February. But you can't have everything.
Well, let's ask Mark. Mark, would you take Brandon back for the locker room?
Oh boy. I don't know. I mean, how old is he now? Browner, is he 30 what?
That's a good question. He's old.
He's in his 30s. I know that. He's getting less and less old to me as the years go by.
But the thing about Browner, according to the New England Patriots and Kraft, is that he'll always be a 12.
He's 30.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about him being a 12, baby. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
The thing is, though, Kraft couldn't have been too surprised at Browner not turning up to the ring ceremony because he didn't turn up to all those drug tests either, did he? So he's just not very good at keeping appointments. That's all. Just not very good at keeping appointments.
That was excellent. Oh man, this is Browner. We do love Brandon Browner, but
we do.
When owner says you're one of my favorites in the locker room, that's got Porky's.
You're just not on the field.
That's just that's got Porky's written all over it. You know what I'm saying?
I love the idea you're one of my favorites in the locker room, but you're just not one of my favorites on the field. That's all.
We like it in the locker room, but
But I prefer you in New Orleans.
You know what this is? Okay, you just figured it out. They want Brandon back to be in the locker room because they had to fire the guy that deflated the balls. So now they want Brandon to do that job. We really like you back in the locker room. We need somebody to take that guy's job. Come on.
They need somebody who's expendable.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Dear me. Woo.
Awesome, Will. What else you got for us?
Well, Moses, if you remember, LeSean McCoy was not very happy a few months ago when he found out he was being traded from Philadelphia to Buffalo, but he seems to have gotten over his disappointment and is making the best of his new situation. Recently, he sent out invitations hosting a females-only party. On his, the invitations were sent out on his Instagram account. And Moses, I think we have a picture of that invitation.
We do. We have that up right now.
Okay, so, and it gets even better because the response from McCoy's email account when you send a message, if you RSVP, quote, below are the following requirements to be confirmed for the event. 1. Please submit full name, 21 and over is a must. IDs will be checked for admission. 2. Please submit one picture and provide social media information, i.e. Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.
Wow.
3. Upon entry, patrons will be asked for IDs and to sign confidentiality agreement.
My God.
4. There are no plus ones. Everyone must individually RSVP to event. And 5, finally, upon confirmation email, you will receive pickup, drop-off location, and attire. So this is a little too secretive to be on the up and up.
This sounds like we should have saved the music for this party. Is what it sounds like.
It sounds a little shady.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, he did it. He did
But anyway,
Will Rogers.
McCoy's post has been deleted. According to ESPN, the Bills asked him to take it down because, quote, players are not permitted to use team marks for personal use without prior permission from the team.
And
I don't think they wanted anything to do with this.
I was saying, part 2, you're creeping us out. Stop it.
I wonder if McCoy is going to leave any tips for bad service at the end of that party. Because didn't he leave like a really low tip and got into loads of trouble and had verbally abused women and all sorts of stuff? Yeah, 20 cents in a burger thing or something, wasn't it, in Philadelphia?
That was
I wonder if he was going to leave. I wonder if he's going to leave tips at the end for the ladies.
Instead of even going to make it rain, it's literally going to rain like pennies from heaven. Like they'll play pennies from heaven instead of it's going to rain.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Here's 20 cents.
Oh, you're pretty. You get a nickel.
I heard Warren Sapp might try to crash this party, though.
Warren Sapp's going to crash the party. I love it. Mark, you want to go to that party? You have all that information for him?
God, this is... I mean, I guess apparently it's well thought out. You know, it's just bizarre.
I was like one of Mark's
Apparently,
Friday nights.
when you get there, you have to knock twice and then 3 times and say, "The swallow flies at midnight."
Man, and my favorite part. Oh, go ahead.
I hope that woman from West Virginia doesn't turn up.
Oh Lord. Oh my God. Best story ever. Well, and I love the fact that LeSean already is giving the Bills the creeps. That's awesome. Because they're like, you can't have this party because you're creeping us out, man.
Just call him into the office. Give me your mobile. Give it here. Give me your mobile.
I need
they're calling they're calling Chip Kelly. It's like, hey, can we have Kiko Alonso back?
Yeah, really. Oh, great. Oh, that was fun, Will. Thanks a lot, man.
Anytime, sir.
Awesome. Let's end the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
We're going to take a brief break here and clean ourselves up and get ready for the second quarter. We're going to talk about Seahawk news, and we've got a Caption This Picture featuring your Russell Wilson coming up in the second quarter. We'll be right back right after this.
You're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
It's the best darn camp there is. I'm the program director, Jerry Aldini. We have some special programs. We're doing Shakespeare in the Round again this year, of course. Our political roundtable, Henry Kissinger will appear. Yasser Arafat is going to come out, spend a weekend with the kids, just rap with them. That's amazing. And the kids wanted animals, so this year each camper will stalk and kill his own bear in our private wildlife preserve. But the real excitement, of course, is going to come at the end of the summer, during Sexual Awareness Week. We import 200 hookers from around the world, and each camper, armed with only a thermos of coffee and $2,000 cash, tries to visit as many countries as he can. And the winner, of course, is named King of Sexual Awareness Week and is allowed to rape and pillage the neighboring towns until camp ends.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Yes, welcome back to the second quarter of episode 307 of your 12th Man Fan Jam show, the Training Camp 2015 edition. And an exciting first quarter with the news. We were popping and locking, and now we're going to pop and lock in to the second quarter. and talk a little bit about the Seahawk news. There's not much going on in Seahawk world. They're getting ready to go to training camp. I hope those of you who are going, I know that some people that have been on the show, I think Dustin may or may not be going, I'm not sure. Will, did you get any tickets to the training camp?
Yep, I'm going August 2nd, which happens to be my mom's birthday, so I'm bringing her along with me.
Oh,
Aw.
isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Hey, kids, Will's taking his mother to training camp. Yeah, kids love it. So we'll have some of our posse members talking, I'm sure, about their training camp experiences, their camping experiences, so to speak. But before we go there, before we go talk about training camp in the second half, we want to talk a little bit about some stories. There are a couple stories floating around about the Seahawks recently, Will. First one about Earl Thomas and his possible availability. What have you got for us there, Will, on Earl Thomas?
Well, the news is not as good as we would have hoped. I mean, it's still speculation at this point, but based on a recent article on ESPN, an interview that he did with them, Thomas's availability for Week 1 is still up in the air. It looks like we're not going to see him at the start of camp or for the first couple games. He is hoping to come back, at least make an appearance in preseason and be good to go Week 1. But that is not set in stone. So, let's all wish him a speedy recovery. I mean, we need Earl back there.
Absolutely.
We know what it's like going into St. Louis to play these years. So, get well, Earl, please.
Absolutely. Matt, reason for concern, or you think we're going to be okay?
No, I don't think it's reason for concern. I think it's too early in the season for it to be concerned. If he was out for half the season, then yeah, that's a reason for concern. I think it's from what I understand, he has yet to fully recover, but he's making very strong progress, as I understand from all the reports. So sometimes these things take a little longer, and he played through those injuries as well at the end of the season, which is always going to exacerbate those sorts of injuries. No, I'm not overly worried at the moment.
What about you, Mark? What's your feeling on Earl missing a game or two?
Well, it's I mean, he's the leader, but the Seahawks always have a plan, and that's why we drafted Ryan Murphy, out of Oregon State.
Ryan Murphy's the answer?
Seventh round pick.
You never know.
Don't be dissing my Ryan Murphy now. We'll come to that in a little while.
Oh, yeah, right.
Aha.
Ryan Murphy just might be the answer for somebody here.
That's called foreshadowing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we'll adopt a Seahawk going on fourth quarter. He got his surgery as quickly as possible. I know it was right after the Super Bowl. It's just one of those things. I would rather have him completely 100% playing than trying to go out there 80 or 85 and make it worse. So, we need him, but if we need to sacrifice a game or two beginning of the year, I'm not too worried, especially with the condition of the NFC West, which we'll talk about probably the next show or the couple shows later. Will, I hear they're close on Bobby Wagner's contract. What have you heard there?
Well, that seems to be the scuttlebutt. A few different sources have confirmed that they are close, and that's actually not really much of a surprise because a couple months ago when they announced that they were starting negotiations with Wagner, it was either Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport. I don't know. Those guys are all the same. Reported soon afterwards that they weren't far apart on their contract talks even at the start. So this is one that really has not. There really hasn't been much suspense about the Wagner negotiations, and I think there's been kind of a feel that okay, here's what we want to give Bobby. Okay, got a ballpark framework worked out. Then it was concentrating on Wilson. So. I get the feeling we're going to see Wagner getting signed right around the time camp starts, if not a few days later than that. And, it's not as good as getting Wilson signed, obviously, but still pretty huge for a guy who's been a key piece of our defense.
Absolutely, Mark. This is great news, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, this is like pleasant news because it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, Wagner's close. And I love how everything is just tight-lipped with the organization, with this stuff, because it's like, it's not fought through the media. It's, I mean, here he is on the eve of signing. So, and he's a huge part. I mean, that guy is just, I mean, he's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler, as long as he's healthy. So it's good to hear that it's that close.
A huge fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm to understand as well. Matt, you a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan?
Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah, that'd be great. The minute we get these guys locked in, obviously, we want them all locked in immediately. We want them to be happy and paid. And the two biggest names right now are obviously Wagner and Russell. And anytime we get one of those guys locked down, it's just another step towards being very, very good for a very long time. No question about it.
And safe to buy a Wagner jersey, too.
You gotta love that part. That's the best part. So nothing new on the Russell Wilson front then, Will?
Just more endless speculation, and quite frankly, let's talk about something else.
Yes, let's not talk about that.
Wait. There was some moaning coming on from Matt there. Matt, do we need to... Do
We
we
need
need some music there, Matt? Does Russell do that to you or what? What's the deal?
I am about as fed up at talking about Russell Wilson's contract as I have ever been.
Me too. I agree. Mark, how do you feel about... I'm done, Mark. We're talking about Russell Wilson till it gets done. What about you?
I just know his hands can hold a lot of cash, so, you know.
Hey, kids, we're not going to talk about Russell Wilson's contract until it's done on this show. So if you want to listen to a radio show, a Seahawk show that is Russell Wilson contract free, this is your spot. You ready, kids? You ready for that? Yeah, I think I am too. Yeah. However, not talking about Russell Wilson's contract is one thing, but talking about the man's play and talking about the man hosting the Nickelodeon Sports Awards is a different story, as you will find out in this week's edition of Caption This Picture. Yes, Caption This Picture, where we take a picture and rip it out from the media and we put it on the screen for you to have a caption for. We will take this picture, we will throw it on our Facebook wall, 12th Man Fan Jam Show. Look for it, sign up for it. We'd love to have you on there. And you too can join us and caption this picture. Now, this picture you have seen before you is a picture of our quarterback, Russell Wilson, who just hosted, as I said, the Nickelodeon Sports Awards. And as with every sports award host on Nickelodeon, they get slimed, as is a tradition on Nickelodeon. And this is a picture of Russell getting slimed pretty badly. So we decided to go with the Caption That Picture. I'm going to read Dustin. Now, Dustin does have something for this, and I'm going to read it for you. After catching the acting bug with his appearance in the Entourage movie, Russell Wilson decided to try out for a part in the new Ghostbusters movie. So thank you, Dustin.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Mark, you got a caption for the picture?
I do.
Well, Mark, let me ask you, why don't you caption that?
My caption is, let's see here. I'm more looking forward to being plastered with soft money from the Seahawks front office.
Very clever. Very clever. Will, you caption that picture?
If the person aiming that slime cannon was a 12, he would have shot it at Wilson's agent, Mark Rogers.
Nice.
You guys you're so nice. You're going to hate me. Okay. Matt, caption that picture.
All the kids who missed Russell at the San Francisco Children's Hospital finally caught up with him at the Nickelodeon studios.
Woo! All right. Okay, here we go. I got three. I'm going to tell you all three of them because
oh dear,
they're disgusting. Okay, you guys are nice. I'm going to hell. All right, it's time for me to capture that picture. Hey, so Russell and Sierra finally had sex the other night.
Oh, goodness gracious!
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah, I did it. I got two more, unfortunately. All right. Caption that picture. This is a new Nickelodeon lie detector erupting after Russell Wilson was asked if he has had sex with Sierra yet. And finally, Caption That Picture. The worst part about training camp is having to run behind Marshawn Lynch after Taco Tuesday.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
do sleep well. Don't have
I have
nightmares.
just
Please drive
lost
home safely.
every single person we've ever had on this show. That we're ending the second quarter.
Holy sh! It's halftime.
I have to go wash my hands and I have to put soap in my mouth and wash my mouth out with soap. We're going to take a quick break here, but halftime trivia is around the corner. An opportunity for you, the listener, and the viewer to participate in a trivia game with a posse. So we're going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back. We'll be right back, I should say, right after this.
Hey, this is Matt, all the way from merry old England, and you're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12th Man Fan Jam Halftime Trivia with your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes! Thank you, me. This is your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church Seahawk Positivity, and welcome to the only internet-based Seahawk trivia game that you, the viewers, can play along as well, and it is 12th Man Fan Jam Halftime Trivia. And of course, we have our three contestants here. Our first contestant's from California. His hobbies include impersonating Richard Dreyfuss. Let's welcome to the show, Mark.
Hello, everybody, and I can't get Nickelodeon off my mind now.
Oh, God.
I'm Matt. We've decided that Moses, and that Moses is going to help, but that's all right. We've had a great discussion on Nickelodeon. Also, one of the contestants from the state of Washington. His habits include watching the Powderpuff Girls. Please welcome Will.
I thought I was in the state of denial.
You're in the state of confusion, but we won't go there. Finally, from England, from merry old England. He enjoys getting slimed. Let's welcome the defending champion, Matt.
I can never watch Nickelodeon again.
I know.
Just can't.
Whew. Somehow I doubt you watched much of it to begin with.
Well, you don't know. There are times.
There are times, and there are times now for here are the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There will be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there will be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tied players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12th Man Fan Jam Trivia Champion and gets to have a special 60-second rant between the first and second quarter of the very next episode of the 12th Man Fan Jam Show. As an added bonus to those listeners on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen, so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well if you wish. If you'd like to play along, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline for each of the contestants. Before the taping of this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take this quiz. And if the contestants want to know what the kids said, they may ask that only once during the entire game show and only during the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12th Man Fan Jam Trivia. Rules, and I want to remind the players that my daughter did not participate this week in guessing or giving answers. However, Little Mo did, and Dustin did step in. So you can ask me what Little Mo and Dustin answered instead of Little Mo and Mosette.
I'll just have little Mo's answers because Dustin's going to be wrong. So.
Well, we'll see. Matt, you are the defending champ. So the topic is Seahawk preseason. For the first round, Seahawk preseason. Right. So, Matt, question 1 through 4, what would you like?
3, please.
Matt would like 3. Will?
Give me number 1.
And Mark?
Number 2.
Number 2, which means you did not do number 4. Okay. All right. Will, here is your question.
Hit me.
What was the preseason record of the Seattle Seahawks in 2013? Was it 2-2, 3-1, or 4-0? Hey, Will, you got some Oregon, baby.
That would be 4-0, Moses.
Yeah, he knows that one pretty well. Pretty confident, are you? Well, little Mo said 3-1, and Dustin said 4-0, and you said 4-0. And it's 4-0. They were undefeated that year. And Will is on the board. Well done, Will.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Mark. Question number 2. What team did the Seattle Seahawks not play in the preseason of 2013? Was it the Chargers, the Packers, or the Chiefs? Who did they not play? The Chargers, the Packers, or the Chiefs in 2013? Super Bowl.
Oh, boy. I'm going to say Chargers.
He's going to say Chargers. Little Mo said Chargers. Dustin said Chiefs. Yeah. It was the Chiefs. I'm sorry. But you are a big goose egg as we go to the second round. And finally, Matt, question 3. Are you ready?
I wish that I paid more attention to preseasons now. Yeah, go on then.
So much here at stake, of course.
Of course.
In the first preseason game against the Chargers in 2013, who threw 2 touchdown passes? Was it Russell Wilson, Tavares Jackson, or B.J. Daniels? And here's some Oregon for you to think.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Who threw 2 touchdown passes? First preseason game against the Chargers in 2013. Wilson, Jackson, or Daniels? Russell, Tavares, or B.J.?
I'll go Jackson.
Okay.
Just because it's not the one I would expect it to be.
I'm really glad you picked this question because Little Mo said Tavares Jackson, but Dustin said, and I quote, "I'm going to go BJ." And so I wrote
He's
that
been watching
down.
too much Nickelodeon.
Standing or sitting?
Do you know the things you have to do to afford Seattle tickets these days?
That's what. And I said, Dustin, you're going to go BJ. He said, I'm going to go BJ. I said, well, you want to answer the question first before you take off on me? Because then I won't hear you. But you said, what'd you say, Tavares Jackson?
Jackson.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You got it right. So
Captain Jackson is his name.
Matt, Will, and Mark. Matt with 1, Will with 1. Mark waiting again on the board. Topic 2 is camping. Camping, because there's training camp coming up. We got camping on our minds. 5 through 8. And we will go again with Matt.
I know all about camp. I'm going to go with 8.
Oh, I'm so glad you picked 8. Will,
Sugar.
5, 6, or 7.
I'll take 5.
And Mark, 6 or 7.
I'll go 7.
Okay. Nobody took number 6, but that's okay. These are just fine. Number 5 goes to Will. Are you ready, Will?
Hit me.
All right. Will, in the summer camp film Meatballs, what was the name of the camp Bill Murray was camp counselor for? Was it Summer Star, North Star, or Camp Mohawk? Bill Murray, did you watch Meatballs?
Camp Mohawk?
He says Camp Mohawk. He does not want any Oregon. So shut up, lady. He went with Mohawk. Little Mo went with Mohawk. And Dustin went with Summer Star. Unfortunately, you're all wrong. Camp North Star. Camp Mohawk was the actual bad guys in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in years, but they played a clip of it at an Everett Aqua Sox game I was at.
Oh, cool.
It just doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. It just doesn't matter. Great line. Great film. Number 7 goes to Mark. Mark, you ready?
I am, but all of a sudden I'm thinking of Chris Makepeace. I just can't get it.
The star, little Woody Wabbit, running through the woods. And this is not about meatballs. This is number 7 is actually, you'll probably get this one. This is about the movie classic Friday the 13th. The horror movie classic Friday the 13th took place at what summer camp? Camp Crystal Waters, Camp Crystal Lake, or Camp Crystal Creek?
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's a real place, by the way. You can go there, and I think that's actually where they filmed everything. Horror movie classic Friday the 13th took place at what summer camp? Camp Crystal Waters, Camp Crystal Lake, or Camp Crystal Creek?
It's got to be Crystal Lake.
It's got to be Crystal Lake. Dustin thought it was Crystal Lake. Mo thought it was Lil Mo thought it was Crystal Creek. You think it's Crystal Lake. You're on the board! Camp Crystal Lake. Before we do question 8, I would like to share question 6 because it was from the movie Ernest Goes to Camp.
I was just wondering if you were going to do an Ernest reference.
I had a joke set up, so I want to go ahead and use it real quick. Ernest is, of course, now starring in his best movie ever, Ernest Goes Flatline. But we'll go to question 8 now.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, I made fun of Jim Varney. Okay, question 8 goes to Matt. Matt, everybody's got a point right now, so this is very important. Matt.
Oh, God. Why do I feel this is... Oh, God.
Hey, Matt.
Go on, then. Yeah.
Did you know that I was a camp counselor? Did you know that I was a camp counselor?
Were you really?
Yeah, for 3 years of my life. What was the name of the camp that I was a camp counselor at? Was it Camp Scott, Camp Stevens, or Fort Scott? And here is some Oregon for you to mull that over.
How in the name am I supposed to know that? Oh, tell you what, I'll ask the kids.
Oh, he's going to ask the kids. And Dustin, which is kind of the same thing. Okay.
Little Dustin.
Yeah, Little Dustin said Camp Stevens. Little Mo said Fort Scott. Camp Scott, Camp Stevens, or Fort Scott. 3 years of my life as a camp counselor, where was it?
Well, I wonder whether you've spoken about this. So I'm going to go with I'll go Little Mo. I'll go with Fort Scott, whatever Little Mo said.
All right, it's going with Fort Scott. He went with Fort Scott. He's right. And that gives him the lead. So we go into the final question. Oh. And someone's going to come out with a win. 2 points here.
Pressure.
Final question. Yes. And the topic is Seahawk preseason. So Matt has 2 points, Will has a point, and Mark has a point. So again, as you know, the answer is a number. The closest without going over wins. If everybody goes over, whoever's the closest to the number wins. So here we go. We're going to start with Matt. Matt and everyone.
Why do you start with me? I'm in the lead.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Where's the benefit of being in the lead?
You're right. We'll go Mark, Will, and Matt. Okay, Mark, here's your question. Sorry. Mark, here's the question for everybody. How many total points did the Seahawks score in the preseason last year? Last year's preseason, how many points did the Seahawks score in all of those games combined, Mark? I need a number.
Well, I'm feeling really confident with my 157 batting average, going into this question. Let's see here. Total points. Oh, man. No idea. I will say 86.
He says 86. Will? You get some Oregon. How many points did the Seahawks score in the preseason last year?
I'll go with 80.
80. Matt?
Yeah.
How many points did the Seahawks score in the preseason last year?
Oh, I have no idea. So Will went for 80. Mark went for 80 what?
6.
I know we lost one, didn't we? I'll go with 85.
85. 80, 85, and 86. You guys have no faith because the total number of points the Seahawks scored,
or something, right?
The total points the Seahawks scored in preseason last year was 122.
Really?
Which means yes.
Wow.
Welcome to the Hotel California. That means that our new champ is Statsman Mark. Mark, congratulations.
Lord, it's a miracle. I think this is my third career win in how many shows have we done now?
About
60?
85, yeah. Congratulations, Mark. Oh, it's wonderful news. A new champion. It is Statsman Mark. We're going to take a quick break at the Hotel California, and we will be right back for the start of the second half of the third quarter. Training camp info coming up, as well as Listen between second and third from Camping Stories with Bill Gaffigan, and we'll be right back after this.
Woohoo!
Please bring me my wine. He said, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969.
You're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
I'm surprised we can still get people at camp. Hey, want to burn a couple of vacation days sleeping on the ground outside? No. What if I told you to get to crap standing up in the woods? I still wouldn't want to go. You'll wake up freezing covered in a rash. All right, I'll go. My wife always brings up, camping's a tradition in my family. Hey, it was a tradition in everyone's family till we came up with a house. My parents never took me camping. You know why? Because they loved me.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Yes, welcome to the start of the third quarter of a very special training camp edition of your 12th Man Fan Jam. This is your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church Seahawk Positivity. Remember, you can caption that picture and do a lot of other fun stuff at our Facebook page, which is 12th Man Fan Jam Show. Please join us there, and please comment or email us at 12manfanjam@gmail.com or Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. We'd love to hear from you. As we start the third quarter, we're going to talk about training camp. July 31st is the start of practice, and as we record, that is less than a week away. We're very excited about that idea, and so we want to talk about the start of Seahawks training camp. Dustin is not here this evening. However, I did talk to him earlier in the week, and I asked him what competition he's looking at, and he's very intrigued by the wide receiver competition. He thinks it's going to be very interesting if they keep 6 receivers, which he thinks they will. There could be some squeezing there of some people that we may not be used to seeing on the waiver wire. Mark, what is your view on that competition or other competitions at this camp that are you're kind of interested in seeing?
Well, that's receivers. That's a good observation by Dustin. And especially with us drafting Lockett, I mean, he's looking to be primarily a return guy, but he'll probably get some snaps at receiver. I'm actually curious if I think this is even though he hasn't gotten too much playing time, I'm looking at running backs because I'm wondering if there's anybody that will challenge Christine Michael, to be like to take over the snaps he got last year. I'm just waiting for that guy to step up. I think it's excuse me, kind of make or break for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of interested in who's gonna, if Marshawn, God forbid, gets hurt, who's going to be the prime back, and if anyone will take over or step ahead of Michael, going into training camp or when it ends.
I think that's a great competition as well. Matt, what are your views on some of the competitions we're seeing at training camp, and who do you think is kind of a make or break this year?
Well, honestly, I'm interested about the whole, and you're going to laugh, it's the tight end areas again. The dynamics are changing massively with Graham coming in. I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, am I going to see Cooper Helford this year? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it's going to be one of those, how much of an impact is made by Graham's entrance. So I don't know. I think tight ends are interesting. I agree running backs is also another one because we know that Lynch is not getting any younger and we know that he runs in an incredibly physical style. So injuries are always a thing there. But I don't know. I'm just excited because every position is now coming up. Like the return team as well. I mean, I won't take anything from Will, but the whole punt return thing, the kick returns and all this sort of stuff that we've not really had last season at all, apart from Brian Walters. That's about to get an injection of talent as well. There's so many areas to watch in this training camp.
I agree. Who do you think is like kind of on the bubble, either starting or making the team?
Well, I wouldn't give Russell Wilson a starting job. I'd take him off the team. Well, he hasn't signed a contract, has he? I mean, you just can't have him there, can you, really? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, I haven't done as much viewing as you guys have over there because I know you guys have all been looking at this, going crazy at it. But I suppose for me, you've got to look at some of the guards. Broken Okun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. When is his contract actually due? Because he's going to be representing himself, isn't he?
After this year, it expires after the season.
After this season, so he's I don't know how he's going to get on. To be fair, because he's not had a great season. So I don't know. Is my honest answer on that.
There's some good points there. What did he miss as far as competitions, and who do you say is kind of a make or break? Either might lose their starting job or might lose a job. Period.
Well, as far as competition, one that I'm really looking forward to is seeing some of our young defensive linemen, because Jordan Hill, part of the class of 2013, really started to come on at the end of last season before he got hurt, and we could have used him in the Super Bowl. Cassius Marsh flashed a couple things and has drawn rave reviews this offseason. Frank Clark, I mean, we wouldn't have gone through all the mess of drafting him if he didn't have a lot of potential. So, what can he do? And, if Michael Bennett does hold out, I don't think he will, but if he does, he'll be back soon because he really has no leverage here. But that just gives more time for the young kids. And, Jesse Williams, too. I mean, after his cancer diagnosis, I thought he was gone for good. But, he could see some time this preseason. Maybe he can finally step up and make a contribution. As far as players who are kind of on the bubble, I'm going to go with Kevin Norwood, kind of in that logjam at receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's a guy I liked last year in limited time, but he just may be caught up in the numbers game this year, especially if Paul Richardson is good to go for camp.
Yeah, they're so deep at receiver. I mean, they're deep in that there are a lot of receivers on this team that I think there's a chance they're going to see some names on that waiver wire for receiver that we're not used to seeing. Dustin also said make or break. He thinks Bruce Irvin, he's playing for a contract. He said either here or somewhere else. But, he's in a contract year as well. This might be a make or break season for Bruce Irvin. If he disappoints, it could be, a long off season for him. And I can understand that as well. For me, there are competitions at just about every spot you can talk about. But my biggest question, and actually Little Mo and I were eating lunch and talking about this today, who's going to take Byron Maxwell's spot? And I know we've signed that Eagle. It seems like it's the Eagles player to lose. But, you've got, if Lane comes back, if Simon can get his act together, and actual Simon is my make or break guy, because I think with the addition of who they brought in, Blackman, and they brought in Williams, and they brought in, all these other guys. Lane will be coming back. Simon has got to stop talking and he's got to start walking, I think, this year. But I think if he doesn't cut it this year, I think this could be the year that we see him walking away, because I just don't see, with all the guys they brought at defensive back, that they can afford to keep a guy who's been here for 2 or 3 years and still doesn't get it. That's my personal make or break guy. So let's end the third quarter on a high note. What do you think will be the biggest surprise coming out of camp? Dustin said the passing game. He thinks right now it might be even. Are you ready for this? He predicts that he thinks the Seahawks are going to throw more than they pass this year. That's crazy talk. But with what they have in the passing game, I can see why he'd say that. Mark, do you see a big surprise coming out of camp? What are you looking for that you're going to say, wow, I never thought this would happen?
Boy, I don't know. I can't say I agree with that we're going to pass more than run, for the season anyway. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised by Lockett's return game. Because it sounds like he's going to be doing both kickoffs and punts.
I believe so.
Yeah, so I mean, if nothing else, it's going to be refreshing to have a legit threat rather than a guy waving his hand, in the air and then just catching it.
Hey! You're attacking the B-Wall experience.
God bless you all.
Because that shit's real. I tell you that's gonna happen.
It is, Matt. Is that your big surprise? We're gonna have the B-Wall experience.
That's gonna be a really wicked surprise if that happens. I agree entirely with Mark. It was actually what I was going to say. I think our special teams are going to come into their own. I think since we lost Washington and Tate and all the others, having B. Walt in the back line, waving his hand, catching a ball and going nowhere was not part of the arsenal of weaponry that we had. We've got some some things in there, but you've got Ryan Murphy who could also do special team stuff. You've got obviously Lockett who is going to be in almost certainly just for that purpose. I think that's definitely the area. But also tight ends again. Jimmy Graham is going to mess up that whole idea of what tight ends do for us. And if he's let loose, then Dustin could be right. It is entirely possible if Jimmy Graham really is in his stride and him and Wilson are on the same page with any number is possible if those two are in the same page.
I totally agree. Will, what are you looking at for a shocker or surprise?
Well, I actually think that our offensive line might be better than some people think this year. Losing Max Unger, I mean, I loved Unger, very talented, but also very injured, and that never helps when you have to substitute guys back in. I like that Alvin Bailey has slimmed down this offseason because I think he showed a lot his rookie year and just blimped up a little bit too much last year. I like our rookie guards, Poole and Glowinski. I also think, Jean-Pierre and Patrick Lewis at center, and, Carroll mentioned a couple other guys, too. I think center is going to... We're not going to have a Pro Bowl center. We're not going to have a lot of Pro Bowlers on the offensive line, but I think they're going to be solid enough that they will be a pleasant surprise.
Very nice. I think my big surprise is going to be the play of our offensive line as well. I think the offensive line is going to be a lot better, and I think we're going to see Russell show everybody what we already know, but other people don't seem to think that it ever existed, and that is Russell as a pocket passer. I think we're going to see a lot more of him actually trying to stay in the pocket and making a throw, especially with guys like Graham, who he can go over the middle for a 7-8 yard pass that are going to be open. I think he's going to help open up everybody, and that's going to help Russell not having to run every time he gets the ball and drops back for a pass. I think we're going to see Russell stand tall in a pocket like he can and will do if given time. And instead of standing there and counting to 10 because nobody's open, I think we're going to have some open receivers. And I think everyone's going to say at the end of the year, oh, yeah, everyone thought Russell Wilson couldn't throw from the pocket. Well, that's all he's done all year. That's what I think we're going to see is more of a pocket presence for Russell. And that's because the O-line's going to be better, and I think the receivers are going to be better. So, that being said, we look forward to training camp as we come to the end of the third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
We're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear Bill Engvall talk a little bit about camping here in between the quarters. We're going to go ahead and set up our tents and get ready to go camping. But before we do, we are going to adopt a drafted and an undrafted Seahawk player in our next section called Adopt a Rookie. We'll be right back for that after this.
To the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
My dad and I, we'd go camping and we'd sit around the campfire and he'd tell me those great old camping rhymes. I still remember them to this day. It's like, red sky at night, sailor's delight. Wind from the south is rain in the mouth. If the birds are upside down, you're drunk and on the ground.
And now it's time for the fourth quarter of the 12th Man Fan Jam. Here to lead us through the final quarter is once again our host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, welcome to the fourth and final quarter of episode 307, special training camp 2015 edition of your 12th Man Fan Jam show. This is your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity with the posse. We are about to do something we've never done, and that is we are going to take a player that's going to camp this year with high hopes. He's been invited to camp. Either he was drafted or undrafted, and he's kind of new to the area, probably, or he doesn't have a home now. He's going to camp all alone, doesn't know anybody, and we're going to take that player and we are going to promote him on our 12th Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page. We are going to give him hope. We're going to give him admiration. We are going to cheer for him from the sidelines that he makes the team. And during the season, we will always talk about how great he did in a game, even if it means standing on the sideline. Yes, it's time to adopt a rookie. Now we're going to adopt our rookies. This is how it works. Each member of the posse and myself will take a drafted player and an undrafted player, and we will pick him, and he will be our little guy. We will call him George. We will hug him and squeeze him and love him and call him George, and he will be our little friend all year. And hopefully he makes the team. If he doesn't make the team, well, then that's one less guy we got to talk about. But if you'd like to join us on this, after we put our picks up in a couple days here on the 12th Man Fan Jam Show page, I will have a thread started called Adopt a Seahawk Rookie. And I'll have our picks below it, and then you can add your picks, first come, first serve. And you can brag about your person all you want. So we're going to start with Dustin. We're going to start with the draft picks, and those are the draft picks on the screen right there. Dustin is going to go with an easy pick, I think. He's going with Tyler Lockett. And good for him, because that's probably a guy that's going to make the team. Mark, who are you going to pick for a draft pick? Who are you adopting?
I am adopting the Albanian Christian Sokoli. Is that how we say? How do we say that name?
Well, he's your son. You can say whatever you want to.
Put in what you like.
Any way you want. Christian Sokoli. Awesome. Totally awesome. Not Spicoli. Sorry. Yes, the big guy from Buffalo, the offensive guard, tackle 6'5", 290. Big guy. Why'd you pick him, Mark?
Well, I mean, like you said, he was a defensive tackle or lineman that Cable wants to convert to center. But here's what caught my eye when I looked him up: a 4.84 40-yard dash,
Dang.
a vertical leap of 38 inches, and this guy's 6'5", 300 pounds, and he can jump 38 inches. A broad jump of almost 10 feet, and he did 31 reps of 225 pounds.
Nice.
So,
good stuff there. Good numbers, and I can understand you picking him. Will, who did you pick from the draft picks?
Well, Moses, I'm going to be a little controversial here. I'm going to take Frank Clark.
Ooh.
And why did you decide to adopt Frank Clark, Will?
Well, I think what he was accused of doing last year is absolutely reprehensible. If he puts so much as a toe out of line from this day forward, I want him gone. But Pete Carroll believes in him. John Schneider believes in him. There's a little bit of question as to what happened, and I think he should have a chance to prove that he's not the guy that people think he is. And I think if he can keep his nose clean, if he is a better person than what we thought, he's going to be one hell of a football player.
Ooh, so Will using the tough love.
I'm giving him one chance, and
All right.
I think if he proves himself worthy of that, he's going to prove to be a real asset to this team.
All right. Hopefully a real asset, and we don't take 2 letters off that later.
True.
Yes. From across the pond in merry old England. Yes, Matt, who do you want to adopt?
I want to adopt the 31st pick of the 7th round, 248th overall, Ryan Murphy, safety.
Murphy, of Murph and the Magitones, I believe.
Of Murph and the Magitones, absolutely. Yeah. Oregon State, 6'3", 219 pounds of safety, who's also got a lot of special teams experience, I think, as well, or has got some special teams. I like the story. There's a backstory to this about him losing his best friend in college, and he's sort of using that as sort of a drive to succeed. So he's playing with purpose, he's got playing with passion and power. I think that sort of fits in with the mentality of the Seahawks as well. I think he's also Marshawn Lynch's cousin as well, which is sort of a bit of a help. And obviously 31st pick, number 31, Cam Chancellor. There's a link there for me, and I just want to see. I mean, he's not as big, he's not as bulky as Chancellor, but with a little bit of bulking up, maybe we could have another Chancellor on our hands. I like it.
Very nice, very nice. Well, those who have followed this show that know what I look for at draft picks know that my pick is an easy one. From what's been left to me here, I am also picking a guy from Oregon State. I'm picking Obum Gwacham. Because I just think that's the coolest name in football. Obum Gwacham. It sounds like what a coach would say. Obum Gwacham! And that's what you do. So I'm picking Obum Gwacham for no other reason than I think it's a pretty awesome name. All right, so those are the draft picks. Now, there were some undrafted free agents asked to join the Seahawks, and they'll be fighting for a spot, I'm sure, on the roster. I would like to say that Dustin has decided to take Trevon Reed out of Auburn from that group, 6', 191 defensive back. He feels like he's going to make the team and make some noise in the preseason. Let's go in reverse order. Matt, who would you like to take from the undrafted free agent class?
I'd like to take Nate Boyer.
Oh, you Brit.
The long snapper.
Yeah, great
Because
story.
it's such a
too.
great story. Because, the Green Beret thing and
Yes.
34 years old, not got a hope in hell's chance getting signed anywhere. And, Pete Carroll just makes that call. And, considering the first pick and the controversy over the Clark pick and all of that going on, which was a little bit of a downer, by God, what a great way to sort of lift that story of draft at the end. So, yeah, I go with Nate.
And let's not, and I love our long snapper Clint Gresham,
Clint
but
Gresham.
let's make no mistake, Nate made no mistakes as a long snapper, so he is in here to win
Well,
a job.
Apart from the fact that he nearly killed his friend's kid or whatever it was by hitting that ball in his face, but
Right.
other than
Well,
that,
that's
the
yeah.
These things happen.
These things happen. Will, who would you like to take off the undrafted free agent list?
I'm going to go with undrafted free agent running back Thomas Rawls.
I wonder if he's related to Lou Rawls. You know who Lou Rawls is?
I'm thinking no, but on the other hand, this preseason, Marshawn Lynch may get a snap. Turbin is recovering from surgery, so he's not going to get much time. So Kristen Michael and a couple of the other rookie backs are going to get the bulk of the carries in preseason. And honestly, Kristen Michael, I think, is at the end of his chances. He needs to step up and show something now. Thomas Rawls, on the other hand, looked really good in the mini camps. I think he can make an impact in preseason, and I think if Michael slips up one more time, Rawls could very well steal his job.
Here's some Lou Rawls for you. This is Lou.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah. Little Lou Rawls for you. More important than all that football talk, his last name's Rawls. He's got to be related. And if he is, how cool would, ladies and gentlemen, Lou Rawls at the Seahawk game? Oh, yeah.
As long as you need someone who loves you.
Oh, yeah.
Tender like I do.
Okay, enough of that. Okay, sorry. Mark, who would you like to draft from the undrafted free agent class?
Boy, it'd be nice to have Lou Rawls as a stadium MC.
Wouldn't it?
I actually,
he need a Bud commercial.
Your Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
I actually saw Lou Rawls guest star on an episode of The Big Valley. And it was freaking awesome because like both Linda Evans and Barbara Stanwyck wanted this guy by the end of the episode,
Closest I can come to that was seeing Alice Cooper on that episode of The Muppet Show.
Oh, Lou Rawls guest starred on My Big Valley?
On The Big Valley,
Yeah.
Yeah, before Lee Majors was the $6 million man.
Yeah, look that up, kids. Look that up. Look up the Big Valley, kids. Didn't Lou do like the Budweiser commercials too, or something? He did some. Apparently nobody remembers that about him.
Well, there was Leon Redbone that did the Budweiser ads years ago. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah. Oh God, Leon Redbone's awesome. No, I
remember the Bud Toads.
Yeah, well, this is a little bit before that time, but I thought he did okay, I guess not. Anyway, I'm sorry, Mark. You were picking somebody, I think.
Yeah, that's okay. Once Brick turns on the Rain Man app, I can't quit spewing out worthless trivia. Okay, well, let's see. My undrafted free agent, Frank Clark's going to need a roommate in camp, and he has the perfect foil here in running back Rod Smith from Ohio State, who also, I think, was booted off the team or had to leave halfway through last season, but not before he scored 5 touchdowns. And what did he have? He had 101 total yards, but the guy's 6'3", 226 pounds. And so I just love that the Seahawks drafted 2 guys that were dismissed from their respective teams, and they're in our same draft class, so we'll see how that works.
Very cool.
Didn't Smith steal a woman's purse at a casino once, or was accused of that, or something like that?
I think so. It was Frank Clark's girlfriend's, so there's a certain sense of irony there that,
Was she unconscious at the time?
I forget exactly. I forget why he got booted, but I love that we drafted 2 guys that were kicked off the team. That's
Get you
classic.
excited. Yeah. Get you excited. I'm going to give you my pick, but before I do. See, he did do a commercial. That's right. See? I told you Lou Walls did a Budweiser commercial, y'all. All right. God, I watched too much TV growing up.
Yes, you did.
My pick is at a very unusual spot because there's already a log jam at this position. However, Austin Hill from Arizona, wide receiver, 6'2", 214. The guy's pretty big. I'd like to see a big receiver join our group. And I know we've already got, some pretty big guys, but I think this guy could surprise a lot of people. I think Austin Hill is going to be a sleeper. And hopefully he doesn't sleep through camp because I'm picking him as my undrafted adopt a Seahawk rookie. And that is wide receiver Austin Hill, Arizona. So if you would like to join us, and there are some names that we have not picked, some guys that still need to be adopted. If you would like to adopt them, I'm sure they would love to have you adopt them as well. Come to the 12 Man Fan Jam Show page, and when I put up a thing about adopt a Seahawk rookie, you can join us and adopt your own, and we're going to get on there once in a while and brag about our guys a little bit, put a little bit blurb about them, stories about them, kind of promote them a little bit, and hopefully they'll make the team, and then all year we can talk about how they're our guys. So if this goes well, we may adopt a couple more Seahawks. So, wow, what an amazing show this was, wasn't it? But sadly, it is time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12th Man Fan Jam show to a sad close. We are so glad you decided to waste some time with us during this off season. It was, as usual, a show that raised the bar here at Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. We certainly hope you laughed a little and maybe, just maybe, you learned a little something. What did we learn this evening? Well, we learned that Brandon Browner is one of Kraft's favorites in the locker room. We learned that Moses keeps the porn music handy. We learned that LeSean McCoy gives the Bills the creeps. We learned that the posse was popping and locking in between quarters. We also learned Moses is going to hell, Will uses tough love, and Lou Rawls guest starred on the Big Valley. So, on behalf of my partner in crime from Merry Old England, Matt, Statsman Mark, our newshound Shadowhawk Will, and Dustin as the part-time beaver, this is your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity saying, enjoy training camp and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Keep popping and locking.
I'm going to hell.